What's up, my friends? Welcome back to yet another evening in the cave. Today we'll be tying a shrimp because we haven't tied one of those in quite some time. We will be tying this one here, which is a fairly new one that I just posted a few days ago on my Instagram account. Yesterday I went fishing and I actually had two fish on this shrimp. I lost them both, but they showed good interest in it, so I know it works. So without any further ado, let's jump down to the vise here as usual and tie up this shrimp. Okay, so here we go. Get the thread started here. The hook in the vise is an Eric's NS122, which I have given a small bend downwards with a set of pliers. So get your thread down here to just around where the hook starts to bend. Then I want to grab some of this fluorescent yellow iced up. And of course this is one of those patterns where you can use any color you want. The only limit here will be your imagination, so just go crazy with it. Make a small bump down here. Brush this out a bit. Then what I like to do is to kind of pull these fibers back like this, and then just make a few turns on top of that dubbing. Like that. And then a different kind of dubbing. In this case, this is a SLF squirrel in a color called bleached ginger, I believe, but I don't know. It looks kind of tan to me. So cover up this part up here, and again brush out that lump here. Same thing again, pull the fibers back a bit, tie on top of that. And this way you kind of slowly build up the head part of the shrimp. And I like to use a bit more time on the front here, or the head part, because that is the most important thing to get right if you want it to look like a shrimp, in my opinion. So I like to use a bit more time on the head part. And I think it needs just a bit more, so I'll just be repeating the process. Brush this out again. Pull the fibers back, tie on top of it, and here we go. Now that is looking almost like the front part of a shrimp here, I think. Then what you want to do is grab some of this craft fur. This is some sort of grizzly tan. And then just cut off a piece here. Don't need much. Just a small bunch like this. Make sure you get the shorter fibers out, leaving you with a really sparse bunch here. Get that on top. Then just roll it a bit around so it gets around the top half of the hook. I don't want it all the way around. Way around here looks good. Make sure that's nice and secure. Here, I'm gonna cut that off at an angle just like this, which will help get this crooked back on the shrimp. Just tie that down right there. A little bit more dubbing to tighten up everything up in front here. Just a small bunch. Push that out a bit. On top of it, like that. Then, of course, it needs some ice. I like to make mine myself, but you could smack on some easy shrimp ice or something like that. Make sure they're sitting nice and tight. And the same here, I like to cut that off right where I put that bend in on the hook. The other side. Measure out that they are roughly the same length. And then when I get, obviously I tied in on the side here, but when I get to this point here, I'll just pull it up on top of the hook, like that. Tie that down. Nice and secure here. There we go. Cut this off. Now you can almost see it here. That is starting to build up a small lump right there. That's what I want. Get a rib on. This is some fluorocarbon, 0.26 or something like that. mono will do. This is just what I have lying around, so I'll just use that. Tighten that down. Then I want some kind of flash in the fly. This is a mirror flash, I believe, or crinkle mirror flash. Just get a few strands off here. Two to be exact, and I will double these over so it will turn into 4. Get them on my thread like this. Flip those over. Then get the thread all the way back to the hook eye. Trim these at different lengths so they won't tangle so easily. Like that. And now comes the fun part, building up the rest of the fly. At least I think it's fun because now you will really see what all this build up and the hook in the or here the bend in the hook, what that did. So just take your time here, build up a nice taper. Don't be scared to put too much on, because you can always brush it out again. Just a tiny bit more. Like that. Clean it up a bit here in the back. Then I like to brush it on the top to get a few fibers. Pointing forward here as well. This will have one of these prefabricated shrimp bags. These are from the Fly company. I have seen other companies with their own name on these, so you'll just have to Google around a bit and see if you can find these. Maybe I can find them for you, and I will put a link in the description below as well, so I think I can do that. So what you do, you just plug one off here, and then kind of measure it out where you want it. Then I like to just tie it on in the back here. Like this, makes it easier to control. when you're making that first turn, which is always the hardest. I even think I need to get this a bit further in the back here, like that. See how that looks. That's better. And then I just untied it in the back here, so now I can really work with it. That should do. Tighten that up. Made some kind of weird lump there in my shell bag. I don't want that. Nah. Here we go. This is me being a perfectionist here. So if you don't like what you see when you're tying your own flies, just untighten it and start again. Here we go. That's better. Cut off that rib. And this little pointy end here, you can grab with your hackle pliers, pull it tight and then cut it off, and it will pull itself underneath the thread wraps, giving you a neater finish. Just like that. Make a couple of whip finishes. Two should be enough. Get off the thread. Then what I like to do, I like to take this shell in front here, fold it back like this, because I want to work a little bit more on the head. I want it to point upwards like this. And the way you can do that is to get some UV resin. Just put a small drop onto the materials right here where the Scott bag goes. just soak those in. Work them in like this. Like that. Check the angle before you cure it. And now you can also see the fluorescent part here in the front. Really, really nice. That's cured. Get on a small drop just for extra measures, and then fold this back over carefully. And sap that again. Turn the fly over and then just brush the belly here. You can be mean to it. It's really secured by the rib and everything. And because I like to dub twice, once from the back and then back over, you can brush a lot out of that dubbing without the thread wrap showing underneath, which is why I do it actually. So here we go. That there is one deadly little shrimp. So that was it. A fairly easy shrimp, killer looking, and if you bend the hook like I do, it really helps to get those proportions right, and you don't have to do it of course, but I like doing it, so try it, let me know what you think. And if you're wondering about that UV lamp I was using, it is a really cheap one from Amazon. I think it cost around 17 euros or something. I will leave a link down below so you can go and check it out. It will cure absolutely anything. With the hype at the moment with all these UV resins, they all have their own lamp, and I don't want to buy a new lamp every time I have to buy a new resin. So this cheap lamp, I have found it will cure anything I have thrown at it so far. So if you're looking for a cheap lamp that will cure anything, hit the link in the description below and check it out. So that was it for today, guys. See you next week.
Of your